Chosen one, what if I told you that certain sexual acts are secretly draining your power and cutting you off from divine protection? The Bible warned us, but most people ignore it. There is a reason why the world has glorified lust, why society constantly pushes you toward indulgence without consequence. It is because they know something most people don't. Your sexual energy is one of the most powerful forces you possess. When used correctly, it strengthens you, connects you to divine wisdom, and fuels your spiritual purpose. But when misused, it weakens you, blinds you, and keeps you trapped in cycles of distraction and sin. They do not want you to know this. They want you to waste your power, to give it away recklessly, to pour out your divine energy into things that leave you spiritually empty. That is why this message is so important. The Bible warned us about this, but many have ignored it. If you are a chosen one, you cannot afford to be careless with your energy. You must protect it at all costs. The enemy has worked hard to normalize behaviors that secretly drain your spirit. You may have felt it without even realizing what was happening. The exhaustion after giving yourself away to the wrong person. The guilt that lingers after falling into temptation. The way your motivation disappears, your focus fades, and your connection to God weakens when you indulge in things that do not serve you. This is not just physical, it is spiritual warfare. And if you have been struggling in this area, if you have felt your energy being depleted, it is not too late. There is still time to break free. In this video, you will discover the 8 sexual sins that drain your spiritual power, why they weaken chosen ones, and how to break free from their influence. Stay with me until the end, because one of these sins might be blocking your blessings right now. If this message resonates with you, like this video and comment 77 below. Now let's begin. Why sexual energy is sacred and must be protected. There is a reason why the world has worked so hard to normalize reckless indulgence. They don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to realize that your sexual energy is more than just physical pleasure. It is spiritual power. It is the life force within you, the very essence of your being that fuels your creativity, strengthens your intuition, and connects you to divine wisdom. But they have taught you to waste it, to misuse it, to throw it away without a second thought. They have convinced you that it has no consequences, that it is nothing more than a fleeting moment of gratification. But deep inside, you know that isn't true. You have felt the emptiness, the exhaustion, the drain that follows when you misuse this sacred energy. And if you are feeling lost, if you have been struggling to find clarity, to regain your strength, it may be because you are unknowingly giving away your power. Many chosen ones go through this battle. You are not alone. You may have noticed that when you engage in meaningless indulgence, you feel different afterward. Your motivation disappears. Your mind becomes clouded. Your connection to God feels weaker. It is as if something has been taken from you, because something has been taken from you. When you misuse your energy, you are allowing pieces of yourself to be scattered, to be consumed by forces that do not serve you. And if you continue down that path, you will find yourself stuck in cycles of confusion, stagnation, and spiritual exhaustion. This is not by accident. The enemy knows that if they can get you to waste your energy, they can weaken your power. They don't have to destroy you outright. They only need to distract you, to tempt you into draining yourself so that you are no longer a threat. But if you are listening to this message now, it means you are beginning to wake up. It means you are starting to understand that your energy is sacred, and it must be protected. The Bible warns about this time and time again. In 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18, it says, "Flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body." This verse is powerful because it reveals a truth that many ignore. Sexual sin is not just a mistake. It is a direct attack on your vessel, on your spirit, on your divine connection. It is not like any other sin because it is something that directly affects your very essence. This is why it is so dangerous. This is why it is one of the enemy's greatest weapons. When you misuse your sexual energy, you are weakening your foundation. You are allowing your spirit to be fragmented, to be drained, to be controlled. And once you begin to see this, once you start recognizing how it has been used to keep you in bondage, you will understand why protecting it is essential to walking in your true power. And now you are beginning to notice the difference. You are seeing the contrast between when you guard your energy and when you waste it. You feel more clear-headed, more in control, more connected to your purpose when you are disciplined with your energy. Your body feels lighter, your thoughts are sharper, and your spiritual discernment is stronger. The moments when you protect your energy, when you choose not to engage in meaningless indulgence, you feel an inner power rising. You are more creative, more productive, more in tune with divine timing. And this is not a coincidence. This is what happens when you reclaim what was always meant to be yours. Your energy was never supposed to be scattered. It was meant to be harnessed, to be directed toward your purpose, to be used for something greater than yourself. But here is the truth: knowing is not enough. You must take action. You must be intentional about protecting your energy, about guarding what is sacred, about refusing to let the world tell you that it does not matter. Because it does matter. Your energy is your power, and the moment you decide to reclaim it, everything will begin to change. You will find strength you didn't know you had. You will break free from patterns that have held you back for years. You will step into a version of yourself that is untouchable, unstoppable, aligned with the divine plan that was always meant for you. And when you do, nothing will be able to drain you again. Comment protect if you understand the importance of guarding your energy, because next we will expose the 8 sexual sins that drain you the most. The things that have been keeping you stuck, keeping you weak, keeping you disconnected. It is time to bring them into the light. It is time to break free. The 8 sexual sins that drain chosen ones. There are forces in this world that do not want you to realize your true power. They have spent generations convincing people that indulgence is harmless, that pleasure without purpose has no consequences. But you have felt the effects. You have noticed how every time you fall into these traps, your energy shifts. You feel drained, disconnected, unable to focus on your higher calling. This is not a coincidence. This is spiritual warfare. They have normalized what was meant to weaken you. They have glorified the very things that strip you of your divine strength. And if you are listening to this message, it means that you are starting to see through the illusion. You are beginning to understand that your energy is sacred, that your body is a temple, and that what you do with it determines the strength of your spirit. If you have ever wondered why you feel lost, exhausted, or spiritually stagnant, it may be because you are unknowingly giving away your power. Many chosen ones struggle in this area. You are not alone. The world has made it nearly impossible to escape these temptations. Everywhere you look, there are messages urging you to indulge, to let go of discipline, to act without thought. They want you to believe that it is natural, that it is harmless. But deep down, you know it is not. You have felt the guilt that lingers afterward, the emptiness that follows. You have experienced the way it dulls your mind, weakens your will, makes you question your own worth. And yet, no one speaks about it. No one warns you about the spiritual cost. This is because they do not want you to stop. They do not want you to reclaim your power. They want you weak, distracted, and enslaved to habits that keep you from stepping into your full divine potential. The Bible warns about this many times, yet people choose to ignore it. In Hosea 4 verse 6, it says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." This is not just about what you know, it is about what you choose to see. The enemy thrives on ignorance. He does not need to attack you directly if he can simply convince you to destroy yourself. And that is exactly what happens when you waste your energy on meaningless indulgence. These sins do not just affect your body. They affect your mind, your spirit, your very connection to God. They lower your vibration, making it harder for you to hear divine guidance. They cloud your discernment, making it easier for you to fall into further traps. They create soul ties, spiritual attachments that weigh you down and keep you from moving forward. This is why you must be vigilant. This is why you must protect yourself. The 8 sexual sins that drain chosen ones are not random acts. They are carefully designed spiritual traps. They include fornication, adultery, lustful thoughts, pornography, self-indulgence without purpose, perversion, using intimacy for manipulation, and engaging in acts that separate you from God. Each of these sins is a doorway, an entry point for energy to be taken from you. When you engage in them, you are not just making a physical decision, you are making a spiritual transaction. You are trading your strength for momentary pleasure. You are allowing your divine energy to be siphoned away, leaving you weaker, more confused, more vulnerable to further attacks. This is why so many people feel stuck. They wonder why they cannot progress, why they feel disconnected from their higher calling. But the answer is right in front of them. They are allowing their power to be stolen, little by little, without even realizing it. But now you see it. Now you understand that this is not just about morality, it is about power. It is about reclaiming control over your own spirit, refusing to let anything drain you of what is rightfully yours. When you stop engaging in these sins, you will notice a change almost immediately. Your mind will become clearer. Your body will feel stronger. Your energy will return to you. You will no longer feel pulled in 1,000 different directions, constantly battling temptations that lead nowhere. Instead, you will feel a sense of peace, of alignment, of divine connection that cannot be shaken. This is what happens when you reclaim your energy. This is what happens when you choose discipline over distraction. Comment cleanse if you are ready to break free from these spiritual traps. Because next, I will show you why these sins block your blessings and divine connection. The things they don't want you to know, the things that will set you free. Before we continue, take a moment to subscribe and share this video with another chosen one. And if you feel called to support this message, click the super thanks button. Now let's go deeper. Why these sins block your blessings and divine connection. There comes a point in your spiritual journey when you start questioning why things feel stuck. You pray, you seek answers, you try to align yourself with your divine purpose, yet something feels off. You sense a blockage, an invisible force keeping you from stepping fully into your blessings. You see others moving forward, receiving breakthroughs, walking in abundance, yet for some reason you feel disconnected, like you are trapped in a cycle of delay and stagnation. This is not by accident. There is something deeper at play. Your energy, your spirit, your divine connection. Something is interfering with it. And if you have been struggling with temptation, if you have been falling into certain patterns, this may be the answer you have been looking for. Sexual sin is not just a physical act. It is a spiritual transaction. It is one of the most effective ways the enemy keeps people weak, lost, and disconnected from divine power. You may not even realize it, but every time you engage in these behaviors, you are giving away pieces of yourself. You are allowing your energy to be drained, your clarity to be clouded, your connection to God to be weakened. This is why, no matter how much you try to seek answers, it feels like your prayers are hitting a wall. It is not that God has abandoned you. It is that you have unknowingly created distance between yourself and Him. Sexual energy is sacred. It is a life force meant to empower you, to elevate you, to connect you with divine wisdom. But when it is wasted, misused, or given away without discernment, it leaves you empty, spiritually exhausted, and vulnerable to further attacks. The Bible speaks of this in Zephaniah 3 verse 7. I said, "Surely you will fear me and accept correction. Then her dwelling would not be cut off, nor all my punishments come upon her." But they were still eager to act corruptly in all they did. This is a warning about what happens when people ignore divine instruction. God does not punish without reason, but He allows people to experience the consequences of their actions so they may learn and return to Him. If you feel distant from His presence, if you feel like your blessings are delayed, you must ask yourself, are you guarding your energy? Are you honoring your body, your spirit, your divine connection? Because when you misuse the gifts given to you, when you engage in actions that lower your vibration, you are not just delaying your blessings, you are actively blocking them. But here is the good news. You have the power to change this. You do not have to stay trapped in this cycle. The moment you make the decision to break free, everything begins to shift. You will notice an immediate change in your energy. The clarity you have been seeking will return. The strength that once felt distant will rise within you. You will find yourself moving differently, thinking differently, walking in alignment with divine purpose. Opportunities will appear where there were once obstacles. People who were draining you will begin to fall away. You will feel a renewed sense of confidence, an inner peace that cannot be shaken. This is what happens when you reclaim your power. This is what happens when you take control of your energy and refuse to let anything or anyone steal from you again. But knowing this is not enough. You must take action. You must make the choice every day to guard your spirit, to protect your body, to align yourself with divine truth. This is not about guilt or shame, it is about power. It is about stepping fully into who you were meant to be, unburdened by the chains that have held you back for so long. If you are ready to break free, if you are ready to walk in the fullness of your calling, then let this be the moment you decide to take back what is yours. Comment "break free" below if you are ready to release what no longer serves you. Because next, I will show you how to recognize if your energy has been drained. The signs that you need to cleanse, restore, and realign. The truth that will set you free. The enemy will not make it easy for you to escape these cycles. But the moment you become aware, everything begins to change. How to reclaim your divine destiny. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when you realize that you can no longer play small, no longer live in the shadows of uncertainty and hesitation. You have felt the call, the undeniable pull that tells you that your existence is not random, that you were placed here with a purpose. But for so long, you have battled self-doubt. You have questioned whether you are ready, whether you are strong enough, whether you are truly meant for something greater. You have watched others walk in their power, and deep down you have known that you are capable of the same, but something has held you back. Perhaps it is fear of the unknown, fear of failing, or even fear of success itself. But now, the time for hesitation is over. The world is shifting. Everything is accelerating. And you were born for this moment. You were not meant to stay hidden. You were not meant to live a life of confusion and stagnation. Now is the time to step fully into your divine destiny. But stepping into your destiny is not just about knowing who you are, it is about claiming it. This is where many struggle. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect sign before they take action. But that moment will never come. Because the truth is, your destiny is not waiting on anything else except you. It has always been there, ready for you to step into it. But every time you hesitate, every time you shrink yourself, every time you choose comfort over courage, you delay your own breakthrough. Think of all the moments in your life when you felt on the edge of something big, something powerful, only to let doubt hold you back. That was not an accident. That was the enemy working overtime to keep you from realizing your full power. Because the moment you truly accept who you are, the moment you stop doubting and start walking, nothing can stop you. That is what they fear. That is why they have tried so hard to keep you distracted, discouraged, and disconnected from your true path. But nothing happens outside of divine timing. Every challenge you have faced, every delay, every setback, it was all part of your preparation. You were never being punished, you were being refined. The trials you endured were never meant to break you. They were meant to build you. God does not elevate those who are unprepared. He does not release power into the hands of those who are not yet ready to wield it. And if you have felt like your path has been more difficult than others, it is because your calling is greater. The Bible speaks of this in Zechariah 13 verse 9. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. You were being strengthened so that when the moment came, you would be unstoppable. And that moment is now. And you can feel it, can't you? The shift happening inside you. The restlessness, the undeniable feeling that you are meant for more. That is not a coincidence. That is divine alignment. The people who once drained your energy are disappearing. The distractions that once consumed you no longer hold your attention. New opportunities are appearing. New connections are forming. New insights are being revealed to you. This is what happens when you step into your power. The right people will come into your life. The right knowledge will find you. The guidance you need will be placed in front of you. Not because you are chasing it, but because you are ready for it. The universe moves differently when you decide to move with purpose. When you stop hesitating, stop questioning, stop allowing fear to dictate your steps. This is what it means to reclaim your divine destiny. To step forward without apology, without doubt, without waiting for permission from a world that was never meant to validate you in the first place. But knowing this is not enough. You must act on it. You must take control of your energy, your thoughts, your actions. You must trust your intuition, listen to the signs, and walk boldly in your purpose. This is not the end of your awakening. It is only the beginning. This is the foundation upon which everything else will be built. And the moment you choose to stand fully in your power, the entire world around you will shift. The things that once seemed impossible will fall into place. The doors that were once locked will open. The blessings that seemed distant will begin to flow. But you must take the first step. You must decide that from this moment forward, you will no longer be held back by fear. That you will no longer wait for the right time because the time is now. If this message resonates with you, comment claim below. Let this be your declaration to the universe, to yourself, and to the forces that once tried to stop you, that you are stepping fully into your divine purpose. That you are no longer waiting. That you are reclaiming what was always yours. No one can take it from you. No one can stop what has already been written. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that you were chosen for this. Your destiny is calling. Step into it now. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey when the truth can no longer be ignored. You have spent so much of your life searching, questioning, trying to make sense of why you have always felt different. You have faced opposition that seemed unexplainable, struggled with an invisible weight that others never seemed to notice. And now, after everything, the pieces are finally coming together. You see beyond the distractions, beyond the illusions, beyond the systems designed to keep you small. You are realizing that your power was never truly lost. It was only hidden, waiting for you to claim it. But knowing the truth is not enough. What will you do with it? That is the question that separates those who step into their destiny from those who continue to wander in uncertainty. You cannot afford to hesitate any longer. You cannot allow fear, doubt, or hesitation to rob you of what has always been meant for you. The time to act is now. For too long, you have let yourself be drained, distracted, and disconnected from your true power. You have given your energy to things that do not serve you, to people who were never meant to walk this path with you. You have allowed fear to whisper lies into your mind, convincing you that you are not ready, that you are not strong enough, that you are not worthy. But deep down, you know that is not true. You have always felt the pull towards something greater. You have always sensed that there was more to your existence than what you have been told. And now, everything that once seemed unclear is beginning to make sense. You are waking up, and with that awakening comes responsibility. Because the moment you see the truth, you can no longer pretend you do not know it. You can no longer go back to who you were before. You can only move forward or stay stuck in the same cycles that have held you back for so long. But your struggles were never in vain. Every delay, every hardship, every moment of confusion was part of a greater plan. You were not being punished, you were being prepared. God does not call those who are not ready. He does not place a great purpose on the shoulders of those who cannot carry it. If your journey has been more difficult than most, it is because your calling is greater than most. This is why you have been tested, why you have faced trials that others could not endure. You were being refined, strengthened, molded into the person you need to be in order to fulfill your destiny. The Bible speaks of this in Zechariah 13 verse 9. I will put this third into the fire, and refine them as one refines silver, and test them as gold is tested. They will call upon my name, and I will answer them. This is what has been happening to you. You were not abandoned, you were being purified. And now you stand at the threshold of something greater than you have ever imagined. And you can feel it. The shift inside you, the way things are aligning in ways they never have before. You are noticing the signs, the synchronicities, the sudden clarity, the way certain people and situations are falling away while others are being placed directly in your path. You are no longer forcing things to happen. They are happening because you are finally in alignment with your true path. The battles you once fought so hard are no longer necessary, because you are moving in divine flow. This is what happens when you reclaim your power. The distractions lose their grip. The fear fades into nothing. The doubt that once consumed you is replaced by an unshakable knowing. You no longer question whether you are on the right path. You know you are, because everything inside you confirms it. Your spirit, your intuition, your very essence is pulling you toward something greater. And now, all that is left to do is step into it. It all comes down to this moment. Maybe you've felt it before, the restless stirring in your heart, the sense that you're meant for something more. But even as that call grows stronger, doubts might still creep in. What if you're not ready? What if it's too late, or if you don't have what it takes? These thoughts weigh heavily, don't they? They keep you stuck in a loop of hesitation, wondering if you'll ever be able to break free from old patterns and step into the life you've always dreamed of. You're not alone in feeling this tension, and you're not the only one who has faced this crossroads. It's a defining moment, one that asks you to choose whether you'll stay in the comfort of what you know or embrace the unknown and rise to the challenge. The time to decide is now. It's not as simple as it sounds, is it? Choosing to move forward means confronting those fears and doubts that have been holding you back for so long. It means facing the pain of past failures, the disappointment of dreams that didn't turn out the way you hoped. Maybe you've been hurt before, by people you trusted, by opportunities that seemed so close yet slipped away, or by your own fear of stepping outside of what feels safe. These struggles are real, and they carry a heavy emotional weight. You might feel tired, drained from constantly trying to convince yourself that you're enough. The world can feel like it's working against you, sending message after message that says, stay small, stay safe, don't reach too high. It's exhausting, and it can make you question if choosing to rise is even possible. But here's the truth. These challenges are not permanent. They are not roadblocks meant to stop you forever. They are the fires that will refine you, the struggles that will strengthen you for what's ahead. Isaiah 40 verses 29 to 31 offers a powerful reminder. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. This lesser-cited passage speaks directly to this moment of choice. When you feel weak, when you feel like you can't take another step, you are not left to rely on your own strength alone. You have access to a power that can lift you beyond the limitations you see in yourself. The weariness you felt is not the end of your story. It's the setup for a divine renewal that will carry you higher than you've ever imagined. You were not called to stay grounded in fear or doubt. You were called to soar. And as you make the decision to move forward, to step into your divine assignment, you'll begin to see undeniable signs of transformation. The things that once drained you will start to lose their hold. Opportunities you never thought possible will appear, and you'll feel a sense of alignment and purpose that is both humbling and empowering. Relationships that once felt heavy or unbalanced will shift, either falling away to make space for those that uplift you, or transforming into deeper, more meaningful connections. The clarity you've longed for will come, not all at once, but piece by piece, as you realize that every step you take toward your purpose is met with divine guidance. You'll see that your decision to rise is not just about you. It's about the impact you're meant to have on the world. The world needs you to show up fully, and as you do, the pieces will begin to fall into place. So what will you choose? Will you step forward with confidence, knowing that you were chosen for this? Or will you hesitate, allowing the same fears and doubts to keep you stuck in the past? The choice is yours. But know this, you were not called to stay small. You were not called to remain hidden. You were meant to rise, to lead, to step fully into your divine assignment. The time for waiting is over. The time for second-guessing is done. You must decide here and now that you will no longer hold yourself back, that you will no longer allow anything to drain you, distract you, or disconnect you from your power. The world needs you to be who you were always meant to be, and only you can make that choice. If this message resonates with you, comment, "I am chosen" below. Let this be your declaration that you are stepping into your destiny, that you are reclaiming what is yours, that you are no longer waiting for permission to be great. Subscribe, share this video, and stand in your power. Your destiny is waiting. Step into it now. The time for second-guessing is done. You must decide here and now that you will no longer hold yourself back, that you will no longer allow anything to drain you, distract you, or disconnect you from your power. The world needs you to be who you were always meant to be, and only you can make that choice.